Welcome to Cosette's Enchanted Journeys. I am your storyteller, Jenny the Genie, and as you can see, I'm doing a little genie dancing. This is how genies like to get down and dance. We come out of our lamp, woo, and we do a little boogie. And it might look a little strange to you, but you're not a genie. This is the genie dance. You dance how you like to dance. What do you think, Cosette? Am I a little silly? Cosette says I'm being a little silly, but I want to welcome you friends to another Cosette's Enchanted Journeys. Here's Cosette here. She's going to send us on an adventure today, and we're going to read a story that has a lot of boogie woogie, get down dancing in it. And that's why you saw me being a little silly in my lamp, because I'm really excited. I love to dance. I love to move. I hope you do too. And I hope that this story inspires you to get up and do whatever type of dance you enjoy. And not to worry if it looks a little bit different than everybody else around you, because you are uniquely you. Okay, are you ready? Whew, I gotta catch my breath before we do this story, but I think I'm ready too. I'm gonna rub my hands together, and I hope you will too. And we're gonna say, I wish to go on an enchanted journey, and away we'll go on my magic carpet. You ready? I wish to go on an enchanted journey. I'm just doing some more dancing as I come into our special setting here. It's kind of some silly dancing I'm doing, I know, but that's okay. I'm having fun. I like getting up and moving, and I hope this story makes you want to get up and move too. This is called Giraffes Can't Dance by Giles Andreae and Guy Parker Rees. I hope you like it. Gerald was a tall giraffe whose neck was long and slim, but his knees were awfully crooked and his legs were rather thin. He was very good at standing still and munching shoots off trees, but when he tried to turn around, he buckled at the knees. Now every year in Africa, they hold the jungle dance, where every single animal turns up to skip and prance. And this year when the day arrived, poor Gerald felt so sad because when it came to dancing, he was really very bad. Poor Gerald. The warthogs started waltzing and the rhinos rock and rolled. The lions danced a tango that was elegant and bold. The chimps all did a cha-cha with a very Latin feel, and 8 baboons then teamed up for a splendid Scottish reel. Gerald swallowed bravely as he walked toward the floor, but the lion saw him coming and soon began to roar. Hey, look at clumsy Gerald, the animals all sneered. Giraffes can't dance, you silly fool. Oh, Gerald, you're so weird. Poor Gerald. Not very encouraging. What happens when you're not encouraged? Well, sometimes you freeze up like Gerald. Gerald simply froze up. He was rooted to the spot. They're right, he thought. I'm useless. Oh, I feel like such a clot. So he crept off the dance floor and he started walking home. He'd never felt so sad before, so sad and so alone. Then he found a little clearing and he looked up at the sky. The moon can be so beautiful, he whispered with a sigh. Excuse me, coughed a cricket who'd seen Gerald earlier on, but sometimes when you're different, you just need a different song. Listen to the swaying grass and listen to the trees. To me, the sweetest music is those branches in the breeze. So imagine that the lovely moon is playing just for you. Everything makes music if you really want it to. With that, the cricket smiled and picked up his violin. Then Gerald felt his body do the most amazing thing. His hooves started shuffling, making circles on the ground. His neck was gently swaying and his tail was swishing round. Oh, Gerald's feeling the music of the night rhythm. He threw his arms out sideways and he swung them everywhere. Then he did a backward somersault and leapt up in the air. I wish I could do a backward somersault, but I cannot. Gerald felt so wonderful, his mouth was open wide. I am dancing, yes, I'm dancing. I am dancing, Gerald cried. Then, one by one, each animal who'd been there at the dance arrived while Gerald boogied on and watched him, quite entranced. They shouted, "It's a miracle! We must be in a dream. Gerald's the best dancer that we've ever seen." "How did you learn to dance like that? Please, Gerald, tell us how." But Gerald simply twirled around and finished with a bow. Then he raised his head and looked up at the moon and stars above. "We can all dance," he said, "when we find music that we love." I hope you enjoyed Giraffes Can't Dance and discovering that sometimes we just need the right things to come together and it clicks and off we go. I have an idea for an activity we can do together today. How about we make our very own musical instruments that we can shake, rattle, and roll and boogie woogie to on our own? I think that would be a lot of fun, and it's really easy to do, and you probably have most everything you need right in your kitchen. So I'm gonna put a list up on the screen for you, and you can run and gather your materials, ask an adult to help you if you need some help, and together we'll make our own instruments that we can dance to. How's that sound? All right, let's go. Gerald the giraffe sure did end up having a lot of fun once he found his own music, and I thought we could have a lot of fun today making music as well. So I have quite a few things in front of me so that we can make 3 different types of instruments. If you only want to make one of those, that's fine, or if you want to make different ones than I am making, that's great too. I'm going to show you how to do 3 with the materials in front of us. Our first instrument, which is going to be our egg shaker maracas. You'll need your plastic egg. You'll need some decorative tape if you choose to use that. You'll need 2 plastic spoons and something to put in your egg. I'm just going to use a little bit of this rice that I have. So step 1, just go ahead and fill your egg with some of the rice. You don't want to put too much in that it doesn't shake and rattle around in there and make noise, but you don't want to put too little in that you can't hear it. So that choice is up to you. You can close your egg and test to see how it sounds. So I'm just using enough to kind of fill the bottom half of my egg, if you can see that. And you'll see I'm working over one of my paper plates again so that I don't spill rice all over the table. And my kitty Birdie is once again joining us for crafts because he's interested. Okay. I like the sound of that, so that's good. So that's step 1. Step 2, you're going to take your 2 spoons and have the spoons face each other like this, and you're going to start taping and wrapping around the handle. And you just want to line up the handles so that they face each other like that. You can have an adult help you if this is a little tricky. Just have a little patience and it should work out okay. Maybe your pet will help you like mine likes to help me. Once you've got your spoon wrapped all the way up to this part, from the bottom of the handle all the way up to where the spoon actually begins, you're going to take your plastic egg and you're just going to carefully smush it between those 2 spoons. So it should sit in there pretty well, like that. And then we're just going to tape around the spoons and the egg so that that egg won't fall out of there when we get to shaking. There's our first instrument. We have our plastic spoon maraca. Now we're going to make our second instrument. Our second instrument we're going to be making is a rainmaker. So for this you need a paper towel tube. Doesn't matter which size. I'm going to go ahead and use, you know what, I'm going to use a little one because that fits in my hand pretty well. So I'm going to go ahead and use a little one. You can use any size you want. If you have a big one, you can cut it in half and make 2. Or you can just have a really long one. This part is optional. I have these barbecue skewer sticks. I'm going to add just a couple so that as my pasta falls through the rainmaker, it catches on stuff and makes some more interesting and varied sounds. So you're going to need something to fill it with, pasta, rice, maybe you have some dried beans at home. If you don't have any of that stuff, use some buttons or beads, anything that you're going to make noise in here, because what we're going to do is tip it upside down like this and it's going to fall through and make the noise. Duct tape works great. If you don't have duct tape, you can use clear packaging tape like I'm going to use for the ends. And again, I'm going to be using some colorful tape just to decorate my tube. If you don't have colorful tape, you can paint this, you can use markers, you can use anything you want to make this decorative. You don't have to do the same things that I'm doing. And I have this paper plate just so I can work on top of it and not make a mess. So let's get started. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to close one end of my tube with tape. Now, because I used tape inside the bottom of my tube, it's going to be sticky down there. You could put a piece of paper or something in your tube before you use tape if you want. Otherwise, just add some extra pasta, beans, or rice so that when some gets stuck, you still have some that's going to rattle around. Okay, once you've got both ends all taped up, you can test it, make sure nothing's falling out, see if you like that noise. If you want it to be louder, you can add more, and you can see this, what I was telling you. There's my rice getting stuck to my tape on both sides, but you can kind of shake it down. But none of it's spilling out, so that's good. So now we're ready for our next step. The next thing I'm going to do is decorate my rainmaker. So if you want to paint or use markers or tape, this is when you do that step. All right, once you've finished decorating your rainmaker tube, you can be done if you'd like, or if you want to do this optional step with me, you can. Ask an adult for help, but you can use something like this, like a barbecue stick, barbecue skewer, and we're going to poke a hole through the tube so that the rice and pasta and whatever you use kind of catches and makes more interesting noise. So I'm just going to go ahead and poke a hole. So now when I turn it, it's going to catch on something. You can poke all the way through if you would like. I'm only going to poke till it hits the inside, and then I'm just going to cut that off. And I'm just going to use clear packaging tape, and I'm just going to put this right over where I put that skewer, like that. And now I'm going to add one more, maybe down here. There you have instrument number 2, rainmaker. All right, we're ready for instrument number 3rd and final instrument. You're going to need a paper plate that you can decorate, color, paint, tape, however you want to decorate it. Some markers, colored pencil, paint, again, however you want to choose to decorate this. You're going to need a little bit of string, some bells if you have them. If you don't have bells, you can use some beads, some seashells, anything like that that you can put a hole in and tie something around to attach to your paper plate, because what we're going to make is a tambourine. And when you hit a tambourine, usually there's a bell or something to make some noise. So that's what I'm going to use. You're going to need a pencil and a hole punch and some clothespins to hold your paper plate together while it's drying after it's been glued. I am going to be using a glue stick for this because it's a nice strong hold glue. When you fold your plate and glue it, you can use probably Elmer's glue too. These clothespins will hold your plate together while the glue dries and sets. So you just want to use a nice strong glue and allow it to dry and harden so that the plate doesn't open up. So for my tambourine, I've decided I'm going to make it look like a rainbow. You can make yours any sort of shape you want. What we're going to be doing with the plate though is folding it in half. So whatever pattern or print you make, you're going to see it on both sides of the plate. So remember that. I'm going to go ahead and just use my markers that I have, and like I said, I'm going to make kind of a rainbow color all around. Now that I've finished my red, I'm going to go ahead and do orange next. Do you know the colors of the rainbow? A handy reminder is to remember the word Roy G. Biv. Roy, red, orange, yellow, G, green, Biv, blue, indigo, and violet. So that's the pattern I'm following, so let's begin with orange. I finished with my orange. Next I'm going to use yellow. And I finished with yellow. I'm doing green next. My green's a little bit more of a teal, which is more of a blue green, but that's okay. You can use any colors that you like. And again, if you don't want to make a rainbow, you don't have to make a rainbow. You can make anything you want. You can make an animal face. That might go well with our Giraffes Can't Dance. Maybe a monkey or a lion, a zebra, a giraffe. You can make anything you want. After blue comes indigo, which is a color between blue and purple. I don't think I have that color either, so I'm actually going to use this orchard color. It's kind of a light purpley pink. Okay, next comes my purple or violet. All right, once you have your plate fully colored and decorated the way you like, the next step we're going to do is we're going to fold it in half with the color on the outside. On the inside's gold. I'm going to fold it in half and hide the gold. And I'm smudging some of my marker colors so you can see, but that's okay. Next step is to decide where you want to place your bells, and that's what you're going to use your hole punch for. I only have 3 bells, so I'm only going to make 3 spots. Now, if you have little bells, you can make a whole bunch around the edge if you want. If you want to use beads or shells or anything else to make noise, you can. So I'm just going to put one on the right, one in the middle, and one on the left. The next step is we're going to glue our plate together. You're just going to glue on the inside of your paper plate. You don't only have to put it on one side. You want to go around the punctures that you made. You don't want to glue in the holes because we're going to add string to tie our bells on there later. Once you've glued all around, just make that fold, push down, and this is where the clothespins are going to be used. You're going to take a clothespin and just close around your paper plate. If you don't have clothespins, you can use like a binder clip. Something like this would work just fine too. Or anything else you have in the house that has kind of a grippy clip. And you're going to end up with something like this while your plate glue is drying. The next step, when your plate is dry, you'll be able to remove your clothespins and the plate should stick together. If you're not sure, you can just leave those on for a little while, even while you start the next step, which is to take some string, or if you have a bread tie, a little piece of wire, anything like that that you can thread through whichever bell you're using, or bead, or shell, and we're going to tie these to the plate. All right, after attaching your 3 bells and making sure your plate is dry, you can take off your clothespins. What do you think of these 3 instruments? I think it'd be a lot of fun if we take all 3 of these back to my magic lamp and we have a little jungle dance of our own. What do you say? You want to do that with me? Let's go. Welcome back to the magic lamp. Did you have a good time reading Giraffes Can't Dance with me today? I sure did. And I really enjoyed making our own musical instruments. I hope that you had the opportunity to make 1 or 2 or maybe all 3 of these. And now, like me, I hope that you're going to use them to make a little dance of your own and have a little fun making music and moving to the rhythm that you create. Keep using your imagination and creativity to have dance parties, to make music, to just be silly and have fun. And come back and see Cosette and Jenny the Genie again really soon. Take care. Bye.